welcome to day 8 of my 7th annual SLAP challenge. SLAP, S-L-A-P, stands for squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. We are doing at least 40 squats, at least 40 lunges, at least 40 reps of an ab exercise, and at least 40 push-ups a day, every single day except Sundays for 40 days. And this is day 8. So you do not have to join the challenge if you just want to do this workout with me today. That's fine. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video. So if you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout, you can go ahead and use the chapter markers to do that. But if you would like to hear a little bit more about what the challenge is, how it works, where to begin, and how you can participate, let's go ahead and get into that right now. So if this is the first you're hearing about the challenge, yes, we're on day 8, but don't worry, that doesn't mean it's too late to join. It is never too late to join. You can hop in today and start on day 8. That's fine with me. I would rather have you do days 8 through 40 than no days, all right? If you're the one doing it, it's your challenge. So you do it in whatever way works for you, but it's never too late to begin. So if you would prefer to start the challenge on day 1, it is designed as a 40-day challenge. That would be preferable. I will put the link for the playlist up here. So click on the link in the iCard and save the playlist. The playlist will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and I will link it at the very end of the video as well, just to make sure you can't miss it. So click on that link and save the playlist, so that when and if you decide you want to join the challenge, you have all of the workouts readily available to you. Once you have saved the playlist, click on that day 1 video. Watch the day 1 video, and that will explain pretty much everything you need to know about how to do the challenge. But the challenge itself is actually really simple. It's just 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day, every day except Sundays for 40 days. So any way you want to get those reps done is fine. You can follow along with the daily workouts, that's great. Or you can do any workout that happens to contain at least 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, and 40 push-ups. So if you find another workout on YouTube that's not one of my workouts that meets those requirements, great, do it. If you want to write your own workout, fantastic. But you don't even need to incorporate your reps into a structured workout if you don't want to do that or if you don't have time. So what you could do is spread out your reps throughout the day. You could wake up and first thing in the morning, do 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 reps of any ab exercise you want, and 10 push-ups. It can be any variations of those 4 exercises you want. And then you could do that again after lunch. You could do it again after you get home from work, maybe once more before bed, and there's your 160 reps. So as long as you're getting those 160 reps done every day, it doesn't matter how or when you get them done. It doesn't matter which variations of those exercises you do. So this challenge is very easy to customize. It's very flexible. So click on the link, save the playlist, watch the day 1 video, and then when and if you decide you want to participate in the challenge, just make sure that you start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday, and from there, all you have to do is follow along with the playlist, and everything will fall into place. I've made it super easy to follow along, but the challenge is designed to start on a Wednesday. So if you want to start on day 1, just make sure you start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday. All right, so that is the challenge in a nutshell. If the workouts that we're doing this year are too difficult for you, if you are an absolute beginner, if you don't have any fitness equipment, if you are in really bad shape, or you never worked out a day before in your life, and you don't really know how to do squats or lunges or push-ups, and you don't think you can do push-ups, or you don't think you can do squats, yes, you can. Last year, when we did this challenge, I went out of my way to ensure that the entire challenge from day 1 to day 40 was accessible to absolute day 1 beginners. So if you see what we're doing today and you want to participate in the challenge, or you're thinking maybe you'd like to participate in the challenge, but you don't have weights, or the variations of these exercises I'm doing are too difficult for you, or I'm going too fast for you, that's fine. Please don't give up on the challenge. You can do the challenge. What I would like you to do if you are an absolute beginner is save last year's playlist. So I will link last year's playlist up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and it will be linked at the very end of the video as well, so you cannot miss it. Click on the link, save last year's playlist. And then same thing, you don't have to commit to anything yet. Just click on the link and save the playlist, okay? Then what I want you to do is watch that day one video. The day one video that I shared last year is quite long, but it goes into a lot of detail about what the challenge is, the origins of the challenge, why I started doing this challenge back in 2020. And I talked about all of the things we're trying to accomplish with this challenge, because this is more than just physical fitness. This is a mental health challenge. There are a lot of different components that you don't necessarily need to know about in order to do the challenge, but I think that it might make the challenge more meaningful for you and kind of more satisfying for you. So if you watch the day one video that I shared last year, that is going to go into a lot of detail about what the challenge is and how it works and how you can participate even if you are an absolute beginner. And even if ultimately you can't commit to doing 160 reps every day, maybe you can commit to doing 80 reps every day, or 40 reps every day, or 20 reps every day. If you can't commit to doing a 40-day challenge, maybe you can do the first 20 days with me, or the last 20 days, or maybe you could commit to doing every other day with me. Again, this challenge is very flexible and it's very easy to customize regardless of your fitness level, your time constraints, your access to equipment, your experience. So please just watch that day one video. Give me a chance to convince you that you can do this challenge. You can do squats, you can do push-ups. I also took a lot of time in that day one video from last year, because last year I was specifically gearing the challenge towards super duper ultra day one beginners. So I took a lot of time going through how to do your squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups with the correct form, and I provided tons of beginner modifications that I promise you can do. All right, so if you are an absolute beginner, you are welcome to follow along with the workouts I'm sharing this year, but in all likelihood, you will have to be making modifications. I will do my best to provide equipment-free substitutions and beginner modifications this year, but I'm going to assume that if you are following along with this year's workouts, this year's playlist for the challenge, that you are at more of an intermediate level. So I'm not going to go into a ton of detail about how to do the exercises correctly. There's not going to be as much instruction as there was last year, because I'm going to assume that you know how to do squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. I'm going to assume that you probably have a few basic pieces of equipment, like dumbbells or a kettlebell, things like that. I will still provide equipment-free substitutions, but if you're following along with this year's workouts, this year's challenge is more geared towards like an intermediate level. So just to recap what we've covered so far, beginners are most likely going to be following along with last year's playlist. That was year 6 of the challenge. If you are following along with this year's playlist, I'm going to assume that you are at more of an intermediate level. If the workouts we're doing this year for the challenge are not challenging you enough, I have excellent news for you. 2 years ago, that was year 5 of the challenge, the workouts were much tougher and much longer. So if you are more advanced, I am going to recommend that you follow along with year 5 of the challenge, okay? So the playlist I made for year 5 will be linked up here in the iCard. It will be linked down below the video in the description box, and it will be linked at the very end of the video so that you cannot miss it. So the playlists for all 3 of those years, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, all 3 of those playlists will be linked in the iCard. They will be linked in the description box down below the video, and they will be linked on the end screen. So at the very end of the video, you'll see those as well. All right, so especially if you're advanced though, I'm going to recommend that you save all 3 playlists so that on any given day of the challenge, you have 3 different workouts at 3 different levels that you can choose from. So every single day of the challenge, you'll be able to choose a beginner version, an intermediate version, or an advanced version of the workout. So you can really just kind of bounce around between all 3 playlists, so that say you are more advanced and you're capable of doing the tougher workouts, or you're capable of what I'm doing today, but you don't have the equipment I'm using, or you're really pressed for time and you need an equipment-free modification or something that's just a little bit shorter, a little bit simpler that you can get done really, really quickly in like 10 minutes, then you can choose the workout from the corresponding day from last year's playlist, okay? So if the workouts that we're doing on any given day are too difficult for you this year, then you can choose the corresponding workout from last year. And if you're looking at the workout I'm doing on any given day this year and it's not challenging you enough, you can check out the corresponding workout from year 5, okay? And it doesn't have to be the workout from that day. You don't necessarily have to do the day 10 workout on day 10 or the day 23 workout on day 23. Again, as long as you're getting your reps done, that's all that matters. So again, you can kind of bounce around between the playlists and choose any of the workouts from any of those 3 playlists that works for you, or any other workout that works for you. As long as you're getting your reps done, that's all that matters. So the playlist from year 5, those workouts were much longer, generally speaking. Not all of them were super long, but a lot of them really were. So if you are in really good shape and you have access to some basic pieces of fitness equipment, you have a little more time to dedicate to your workouts each day, and you want workouts that are really going to challenge you, definitely recommend that you save the playlist from year 5 and follow along with that playlist. Those workouts, like I said, they were longer and they were tougher. We were frequently doing more than just those 160 reps. So we were doing at least 40 squats, at least 40 lunges, at least 40 reps of abs, and at least 40 reps of push-ups. But a lot of times we were doing more than just that. And we were, of course, doing more challenging variations of those 4 exercises. Most days we were adding weight to increase the difficulty, and we were doing other things to increase the difficulty as well. Also, a lot of times I was including exercises other than squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. And I was also incorporating about 20 minutes or so of moderate paced cardio right into the majority of those workouts. So if you're in really great shape and you have more time to dedicate to your workouts and you really want to be challenged, then check out the playlist from year 5. But that's it. That is how you participate in the challenge. It's super simple. Save the playlists, and then each day you're just going to pick a workout from one of those 3 playlists, or you can do any other workout you want that contains at least 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, and 40 push-ups, or you can spread out your reps throughout the day. All right? So hopefully that all makes sense. If anything is unclear, first of all, remember the day 1 video that I shared last year will clear up any confusion you may have. That video answers every single question you could ever possibly come up with about this challenge. However, I am going to be here with you every single day, not only doing the challenge with you, but I am also here to provide guidance and support and encouragement along the way, and I am here to answer questions. So if you do have questions about the challenge and you want to know more about where to begin and how you can participate, please just ask and I will do everything I can to help. All right, so that's enough about the challenge. Let's go ahead and get into what we're doing today. So you can see I have a set of dumbbells here for reference and for reference only. These are 10-pound dumbbells. That is a good weight for me. You may need to use something lighter than that. You may need to use something heavier than that. That is going to depend on your strength, on your level of fitness. It also depends on what you have available to you, and of course it depends on how hard you are looking to push yourself today. So please consider all of those factors when choosing your weight and make the decision that is best for you. If you do not have dumbbells, that's fine. You can still follow right along with this workout. I am only using my dumbbells for 1 exercise, and it's very easy to do that same exact exercise without the added weight. If you don't have dumbbells, but you do want to add weight, also fine. Look for household items that will work. So you can grab a couple of shampoo bottles or water bottles filled with some sort of weight. You could fill them with water, that would be fine. You might be able to make them a little bit heavier though if you fill them with something like uncooked rice or dried beans or dried lentils, kitty litter, powdered laundry detergent, something like that. If you're taking your workout to the beach or to the park, you could maybe fill them with sand or dirt. Or another thing I think might work is those little decorative pebbles. They're super cheap. You can get them at like Dollar Tree. I think you might be able to make your shampoo bottles or your water bottles kind of heavy if you fill them with something like that. So get creative and use what's available to you, as long as you can find something that you are able to maintain a secure grip on so that you're not going to drop it and injure yourself or break something and make a mess. And as long as it's not too heavy for you, then any number of household items can work. Or again, if you're taking your workout to the beach or the park or the hiking trail, maybe you can find a couple of rocks even that will work. So just again, get creative and use what you've got. And if you absolutely have just nothing you can find that's going to work for weight, or you just don't want to add weight to the workout, fine. You don't need to add weight. You can do the same exercise without holding on to anything, okay? So if you don't have dumbbells, don't worry about it. You can still follow along with this workout. But other than that, the only thing you'll need for this workout is something soft beneath you for our ab exercise. And if you do push-ups from your knees, you'll want something soft beneath your knees. So any kind of exercise mat is ideal. I use my jump rope mat out here because it's nice and thick, but a yoga mat is fine. If you don't have a mat, a towel should suffice. And if you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. But that's it. That's all you're going to need for today's workout. So let's go quickly through the versions of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups that we're doing today, and then I'll explain the format. So starting with our squat variation, again, I am assuming that you already pretty much know how to do squats correctly. So just a quick reminder, remember to keep your back flat, keep the weight in your heels. So the way I like to do that is to think about tucking my shoulder blades into my back pockets, so my shoulders are back and down. That helps me keep my chest lifted nice and high. Remember to tighten up your abs, and I like to think about pushing my booty back. I like to think of this as a hip hinge before I come down into my squat. So I think about trying to touch the wall behind me with my booty, trying to touch the wall in front of me with my chest. So my spine is elongated, my back stays flat, and the weight stays in my heels as I come down into my squat. And then I like to visualize pressing the ground away from me with my heels as I stand. So that's just a basic air squat, but those principles will apply to any squat variation you choose. Shoulders back and down, chest lifted high, abs are tight. Push the booty back, keep your back flat, keep the weight in your heels. All right, so I'm going to be doing a staggered stance squat, which means that I'm just going to pick up one foot and step it behind me just slightly so that the toes of my back foot are maybe 2 inches behind the heel of my front foot. And from here, I'm just going to squat. So shoulders back and down, chest is high, abs are tight, pushing the booty back, back stays flat, weight stays in the heel as you come down into your squat. My weight is distributed about 80% in this front foot and about 20% in my back foot. So I'm pressing this front heel into the ground to stand, pressing the ball of my back foot into the ground to stand, and that's it. Then I'm going to add a little front kick. So the way I do my front kicks is first I'm going to take this back leg, I'm going to drive the knee up towards my chest, and then I'm going to kick the leg out, bring the foot back, and then from here, I'm going right into my lunge. I'm going to combine my squats and lunges today. So staggered stance squat, front kick, swing the leg back, and then I'm going right into my reverse lunge. So again, make sure that you have about a 90-degree angle in your front knee. You want your front knee to be more over the heel of your front foot as opposed to being out over your toes. Do your best. I'm not going to come to your house with a protractor and measure the angle in your front knee, but just do your best. Make sure the movement's under control. If your range of motion allows you to tap your back knee to the ground, that's great. You can do that, but I don't want anyone banging their knee into the ground and getting hurt. I've done it many times. It's not fun, so please be cognizant of that. Please make sure the movement is under control. And then from there, you're just going to take this back foot and swing it up. And you're gonna do like a high kick. So it's not a kick out where we brought the knee up with a bent knee and then straightened the leg and brought the foot back. We're just gonna swing that leg straight up. And I like to hold out my opposite hand as a target to really encourage myself to kick as high as I can. So it looks like this, okay? So the leg is more or less straight. That depends on your flexibility. I tend to be really tight in the backs of my legs, so I'll probably have a slight bend to my knee, but it's not the same as our front kick where I'm deliberately bending my knee initially and then kicking and then bringing the foot back. I'm just swinging the leg straight up. Okay, so that's it. That's squats and lunges. So let's put one together so that you can see how it's going to flow. Stepping one foot back slightly for our staggered stance. Squat, kick, lunge, and kick. Okay? Staying on the same side. So then you go right into your next rep. Staggered stance, squat, front kick, reverse lunge, high kick. All right, so that's squats and lunges. If the kicks aren't going to work for you, eliminate them. All right, so you can just do staggered stance, squat, reverse lunge. Step the foot in, staggered stance, squat, reverse lunge, okay? That's fine. Eliminate the kicks if you want to. Add weight if you want to. You can hold on to dumbbells. You can add an upper body component. You can do a hammer curl, overhead press, fly, anything you want to do. Okay, remember, that's one of the really cool things about this challenge, and it's one of the things that makes it so easy to customize to suit your current fitness level and to suit your access to equipment. So if on any given day, you like the workout I'm doing, you like most of it, you like the format of it, and you want to work out with me, but there's one exercise that I'm doing that it's just not working for you, just swap it out with any other variation of that exercise. So today I'm combining my squats and lunges. You can combine any squat variation you want with any lunge variation you want, and you can do that while I'm doing what I'm doing, okay? So it doesn't even have to be reverse lunges. It can be a side lunge variation. You could do like a squat into a side lunge. That would work, okay? So any squat and lunge variation, just plug that in, and that's fine. That goes for abs and push-ups as well. If the ab exercise I'm doing doesn't work for you, just substitute with any other ab exercise you want, with or without weight. If the push-up variation I'm doing doesn't work for you, substitute with any other push-up variation you want, okay? But that's what I'm going to be doing for squats and lunges. So moving on to abs. So I am going to be holding on to my dumbbells for this. Last year when we did this workout, last year was our baby bear year. So those workouts were geared towards beginners. So again, I was assuming that if you were an absolute beginner and you've never worked out before a day in your life that you did not own dumbbells. I assumed you did not own any fitness equipment whatsoever. So last year when we did this, we held on to shampoo bottles, but you don't have to hold on to anything. This is a super simple exercise. It's just a sit-up with 2 cross-body punches. So I'm sitting up and then I'm just punching across my body. I'm twisting my body thoracically as I punch, and then I'm repeating that on the other side before I return to my starting position, okay? So sit up and back down. Sit up, punch, punch, back down. So a lot of times when I do this exercise, I hold on to a light set of weights, like 5 pounds, so I can keep the pace up. This year I'm doing it with some heavier dumbbells. So these are 10 pounds a piece. It's not like, it doesn't have to be like the heaviest thing you can lift, but if you want to do it with something a little bit heavier, that's up to you. If you want to keep the pace up, it just depends on how you want your workout to kind of unfold today. Like I said, a lot of times, more often than not when I do this exercise, I hold on to light dumbbells so that I can keep it moving. But today I just wanted to hold on to my heavier dumbbells. So I'm going to be moving a lot more slowly. I'm going to hold my dumbbells together like this. And I'm starting down on my back on the mat with my knees bent and my feet flat on the mat. And now I'm going to sit up, twist and punch, twist and punch. So I can't obviously punch really fast while I'm holding on to 10-pound weights. So the exercise is going to look slightly different. It's going to hit slightly different, but it's really the same exercise. And then return to my starting position. So sit up, punch, punch, and return to the starting position. Super simple, so you can do it with or without weight. And regardless of your fitness level, depending on what you want to work on, lighter weights or heavier weights, both are fine for this. Just make sure that your weight is not too heavy for you, okay? So that is abs. Last but not least is push-ups. So again, I'm going to assume that you already know the correct form for your push-ups. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail, but just as a reminder, make sure that your head is in line with your spine the entire time. So if you imagine that you're standing with your back up against the wall, gently pressing the back of your head into the wall, that's where you want your head to be, and that's where you want your head to stay. Keep your head in line with your spine the whole time. Make sure you're not allowing your head to bob up and down while you're doing your push-ups. Remember, you want your shoulders away from your ears. So if you find that you're sinking into your shoulders like this, especially as you fatigue, press the ground away from you, push yourself up nice and high in that plank pose so that your shoulders are away from your ears. Make sure your abs are super strong and tight and engaged, and you're using your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them lifted high so that your back stays flat. Do not allow your hips or your belly to droop down towards the mat like this. That's causing an arch in my back. Use those abs to lift the hips up high, keep them high. The point is that you want your body in one perfectly straight line from your heels all the way to your shoulders. So once you have found that perfect plank pose and your body is in one gorgeous straight line, nothing moves, all right? You're bending your elbows, you're lowering your chest as close to the mat as you can without breaking that straight line, pushing yourself back up, okay? So any push-up variation you want to do is fine. Just make sure your head stays in line with your spine, shoulders stay away from the ears, abs stay tight and engaged, back stays flat. Keep your body in one straight line the entire time, always, always maintaining integrity in that plank pose. So I'm going to be doing a toe tap and then a one leg push-up. So I'm going to start here in my plank pose. I'm going to pick up one foot and kick it across my body, tapping the toes with the hands on the opposite side. Then I'm going to return to my plank pose, but I'm going to keep this foot elevated as I do my push-up. So if keeping the foot elevated is too difficult, you can put the foot back down, but I'm going to be doing this toe tap into a one leg push-up, then put the foot down, alternating sides with each wrap. So then I'll pick up the opposite foot, kick the foot across my body, and tap the toes with the hands on the opposite side. Keep the foot elevated for my push-up, okay? So that is my push-up variation. You do any push-up variation you want. If you do push-ups from your knees, you have a couple of options. So what I think might work, if you are able to do the toe tap, great, keep the toe tap. So pick up one foot, kick the foot across your body, tap the toes with the opposite hand. And then instead of bringing this foot behind you, put the knee down on your mat, pick up your back foot, and do your one leg push-up from this position. That could work. And then come back to your plank pose, repeat on the other side. So now pick up the opposite foot, kick the foot across your body, tap the toes with the hands on the opposite side. Then put this knee down on the mat, pick up your back foot, one leg push-up, and then come back to your plank pose. So that could work. The other thing you could really do is eliminate the toe tap. If it's too awkward or if you can't do it, or if it's too hard to kind of combine it with a one knee push-up, then what you could do is come down onto one knee. So you're going to be on one knee with the other leg extended behind you. And what you can do instead of a cross body kick, like the toe touch that we were doing, you could do a knee tuck instead. So you could take this knee and tuck it towards the outside of your elbow on the same side or towards your chest, okay? There's another variation on that I'll show you in just a second, but that's one possibility. So you could do like a knee tuck and then a push up and just stay on the same side, or a knee tuck towards your chest and then a push up. Do half your reps on one side and then switch to the other side. Something very similar to that, that's an exercise that we definitely did last year in the challenge, and I like it a lot, is this push-up is the same, one knee push-up, but then what you're gonna do is put this back foot down and pick up your front knee, and you're going to kind of push your hips up and try to touch your knee to your chest. And again, you'll stay on the same side. So then put your knee down, pick up the back foot, push up, back foot goes down, pressing into the mat with your hands, pressing into the ground with the ball of your back foot. Send your hips up, tuck your knee in, up towards your chest. push up, knee tuck. All right, so that's another possibility. So not exactly the same thing, but I think that is a good substitution if you are doing your push-ups for your knees. So that's it, that's all for exercises. Now here's the format. I'm going to be splitting up my push-ups today into 2 sets of 20, and that's gonna be kind of our bookends to this workout. So we're going to start with a set of 20 push-ups, and we're going to finish the workout with a set of 20 push-ups. And in between that, we're doing our squats and lunges and our abs. So 20 reps of push-ups. Then we're going to move on to our squat and lunge combo, and I'm going to do half of my reps of squats and lunges. That sounds so vague, but here's the reason why. I am going to be doubling my squats and lunges today. So by the end of the workout, instead of completing a total of 40 squats and a total of 40 lunges, I will have completed a total of 80 squats and a total of 80 lunges, because I'm going to do 40 squats on each leg and 40 lunges on each leg. If you do not want to double the amount of reps that you're doing of squats and lunges, then you're going to cut those in half. What I'm doing today, you're going to do the same amount of push-ups as I am, you're going to do the same amount of abs, but you're going to cut your reps of squats and lunges in half. Okay, so the way my workout is going to look is this. I'm going to start with my 20 push-ups, then I'm going to move on to my squat and lunge combo. And I'm going to do 40 reps all on one leg. Okay, so at that point in the workout, I will have completed 40 squats and 40 lunges, but they'll all be on the same side. So I'm going to have to do another 20 reps on the other leg. So if you are not doubling your squats and lunges, you're going to do 20 of those. You'll start with 20 push-ups, then you'll move on to your squat and lunge combo, and you'll do 20 reps of your squat and lunge combo. I'm going to be doing 40 because I'm doubling my squats and doubling my lunges. Okay, then you're gonna move on to abs, 40 reps of whatever ab exercise you're doing. So I'm doing my sit-up with 2 punches, I'm gonna do that 40 times. And then I'm going to go back to squats and lunges, and I'm gonna do the second half of my squats and lunges. So for me, that means I'm going to do another 40 sets of my squat and lunge combo on the opposite leg. So make sure the first time you do your squats and lunges, make sure you remember which foot is behind and which is your standing leg, so that you switch standing legs the second time through, okay? So if you're not doubling the lunges and squats, you'll just do 20 sets. I'm going to be doing 40 sets. And then we'll finish with our final 20 reps of push-ups, okay? So it's gonna go 20 push-ups, and then either 20 or 40 reps of your squat and lunge combo, 40 reps of abs, and then either 20 or 40 sets of your squat and lunge combo, and then 20 push-ups. That's the workout. So hopefully that is all clear. Please remember that I do always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video, and of course I'm going to do the entire workout right along with you, so watch me do it, read the instructions, but then of course, as always, if anything is unclear about the format and how everything fits together, if you have any questions about the exercises that we are doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do the exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions, if you need to see beginner modifications, I'm always here to help. So please ask questions if you have them. It is incredibly important that you understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And hopefully you guys know that it is also incredibly important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. So I am always here to help facilitate that. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. I also want to remind you, especially if you're going to be working out along with the video, to please make sure that you are going at your own pace. If you are in really good shape, you are definitely going to be faster than I am, and that's wonderful. Be faster than I am, as long as you are not losing anything off of your form to get there. If you're racing to stay ahead of me because you just want to beat my score, or because you set a really ambitious time goal that you're chasing, but your form starts to get sloppy, that means you need to slow down. It is always going to be safer and more effective to slow down and do your reps with good form than it is to race through and just kind of go through the motions and maybe get a great score, but allow your form to get sloppy along the way. So please do not race to stay ahead of me at the expense of your form, and please do not race to keep up with me. If you are slower than I am, also wonderful. Be slower than I am. You would not even know that you were slower than I am unless you got dressed and you got your little booty out here today and you were doing these reps with me. You're putting in the work. That's what matters. So don't worry about how fast you're going. Please do not race to keep up with me if it means that your form is going to start to get sloppy. Slow down, go at your own pace, and mind your form. Do not sacrifice your form for speed. If you fall behind, either just because you're working at a slower pace than I am, or because you're needing longer rest breaks than what I'm taking, or you're needing rest breaks where I'm not taking them, just pause the video. And when you're caught up, come back. And I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here. We can finish the workout together. All right, so I want you to challenge yourself to keep your rest breaks as short as you can, but they should be as long as you need. I only want you to resume the workout once you feel that you have regained enough strength and you have enough stamina so that you can continue with good form. So please make sure that you are resting as needed. Please make sure you're going at your own pace and minding your form. Do not sacrifice your form for speed. And please make sure you're working to your own level. So choose dumbbells or household items that are an appropriate weight for you, nothing too heavy. Be prepared to drop down in weight or to lose the added weight if necessary. If it becomes too taxing holding onto the weight, put the weights down and do the body weight version of our ab exercise that I showed you, okay? If you need to apply beginner modifications, put your knees down for the push-ups. If you need to hold on to something for support, hold on to something for support. If you need to shorten up your range of motion, that's fine, okay? Make whatever changes and modifications you need to, but please do not push your body into doing anything that it is not ready to do. Please be smart, be safe, listen to your body, and make the decision that is best for you. And just do your best. Please remember that your best is always good enough, so let your best be good enough. Hopefully I have covered everything. If you're ready to go ahead and begin the workout, then grab a set of dumbbells or maybe a couple of shampoo bottles or water bottles if you want to add weight. Make sure you have something soft beneath you for our ab exercise, or if you do push-ups from your knees. So again, an exercise mat is ideal, but if you don't have a mat, a towel should suffice. And if you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you probably won't need anything at all. Pause the video, go get dressed, meet me right back here. We're going to start with a quick little 5-minute warm-up, and then we'll get right into these day 8 reps. So as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm-up. You're going to begin by just allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure your arm is completely relaxed. You are not pulling your ear down towards your shoulder. You're just allowing gravity to do all the work of gently stretching the opposite side of your neck by just using the weight of your arm. So now let's switch sides. You're going to allow your head to fall towards the opposite shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure your arm is completely relaxed and make sure your shoulders are relaxed. They should be down, away from your ears. Next, we're going to do some head rolls. So you're going to start by allowing your chin to fall first towards your chest and then towards the opposite shoulder and back. And each time you roll your head from one shoulder to the other, just start feeling your head getting heavier and heavier as you allow your range of motion to increase, so that eventually your entire torso is just kind of spilling in front of you. Your arms should be nice and loose like a rag doll. Now we're going to do some shoulder rolls. So just roll your shoulders either towards the back or towards the front. It doesn't matter, but you want to really explore your full range of motion here. So we're making big circles with our shoulders. Next, we're going to do some arm circles. So extend your arms straight out to the sides and begin by making small circles either towards the back or towards the front. It doesn't matter. But gradually, as the interval progresses, you want to start making your circles bigger and bigger until finally you're making the circles as big as you possibly can. Really exploring your full range of motion here. So now you're going to step your feet out so that they're a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Bend your knees and sweep your arms in front of you as you straighten your legs. You're reaching up towards the ceiling, and each time you bend your knees, you're allowing your range of motion to increase a little more, sinking deeper and deeper into that squat. Now keep your feet planted right where they are. Again, they should be wider than shoulder width apart. We're just going to lunge side to side, nice and easy at the arms. So now with each lunge, you're just reaching your arm across your body, like you're trying to throw your arm across the room. Next, we're going to march in place. So you're going to step your feet in and just march. Super simple. Knees are low to start, but gradually, as the interval progresses, you can start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you possibly can. Really get them up there, feel a nice little stretch in your glutes. And now we're going to jog in place. Again, knees are low to start, but gradually I'm going to start driving my knees up higher and higher towards my chest until finally I'm driving my knees up as high as I can. Now is booty kicks. So this is our final jogging interval, but now with each step, I'm just bringing my foot behind me. Really, I'm actually kicking myself in the booty. So really try to do that if you can. If you struggle with balance, you can hold onto the wall or a chair or something for support for this next one. If not, hands on the hips is fine. You're going to transfer your weight into one foot. Pick up the other foot and just swing the leg front and back. Nice and loose. Just waking up those hip flexors. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So put this foot down, transfer your weight again, pick up the opposite foot, and just swing the leg front and back. You can start low, and gradually as the interval progresses, you can start expanding your range of motion, swinging that leg higher and higher. Now put this foot down, transfer your weight again, pick up the opposite foot, extend the leg out in front of you, and bring the leg around and behind, making a semicircle. Each time you make that semicircle, lift your leg higher and higher, and finally we're gonna do 2 hip circles. So drive the knee up towards your chest and use your hands to guide it around for a hip circle. Other side, extend the opposite leg out in front, bring the leg around and behind, making a semicircle with your leg. Each time you make that semicircle, lifting the leg higher and higher, and finishing with 2 hip circles. Drive the knee up towards your chest, use your hand to guide it around. We're going to finish with a hamstring stretch. So if you want to use the wall or a chair to assist you getting into this stretch, that's fine. What you want to do is have your feet wide apart and hinge at the hips so that you're keeping your back as flat as you can. That's going to isolate your hamstrings more effectively. So if you use the wall or a chair or the arm of your couch or something like that to assist you, it can make it a little bit easier to keep your back flat as you come into this stretch. And it might make it a little bit more comfortable and make the stretch a little bit more accessible for you. So that's our 5 minutes. I am going to actually stay in this stretch for a few more seconds because we're doing those high kicks today, and I mentioned earlier that I tend to be really tight in the backs of my legs. So I want to make sure my hamstrings are nice and loose. So I'm going to spend a few more minutes in this stretch, but if you feel like you're ready, you can move on, that's fine. So let's get right into the workout. We are starting with 20 push-ups. So coming down into your plank pose, I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. You're going to kick one foot across your body, tap the toes with the opposite hand, and now one leg push-up. Alternating sides with each rep. So pick up the opposite foot, kick the leg across your body, tap the toes, one leg push-up. That's 2 reps. We're going to 20, so do your best. So now I'm moving on to my squat and lunge combo. Can be any squat variation you want, combined with any lunge variation you want. And you can do 20 reps or 40 reps. Because we're going to be doing 2 sets of these. So we're going to do half on one side first, then we'll move on to abs, and then we'll do the other half of our squats and lunges. So I'm going to be doing a total of 40 sets all on the same leg, which means that I'm doubling my squats and my lunges today. So if you don't want to double the reps, you'll do 20 sets of these. So for my squat variation, I'm doing a staggered stance squat with a front kick. For my lunge variation, I'm doing a reverse lunge with a high kick. And we're staying all on one leg for all 40 reps. So for the staggered stance squats, I'm just going to step one foot slightly behind the other so that the toes of my back foot are about 2 inches or so behind the heel of my front foot. Shoulders are back and down, chest is up to high, abs are tight. Push the booty back, keep your back flat, keep the weight in your heels, in your front heel as you come down into your squat. So staggered stance squat, and now we're going to do a front kick. So this front foot is going to come forward. I'm going to drive the knee up towards my chest, kick, bring the foot back, and then I'm going to swing this foot behind me, come down into my reverse lunge, and then swing this foot straight up, keeping the leg more or less straight as I do that high kick, and I have my opposite hand up as a target, right into my next rep. So this foot is going to land a couple of inches behind my front foot, and now staggered stance squat, front kick, reverse lunge, high kick. So that's 2. We're going to 40. I'm going to 40. You can go to 20 if you prefer. Do your best. That's 20. So if you're not doubling your squats and lunges today, you can move on to abs. You'll do your abs, and then you'll do another 20 sets on the opposite leg. If you are doubling these with me, then we're going to do another 40 reps, still on the same leg. If you want to double the reps, but it's too taxing to do all 40 on one leg, you can switch legs here. And then after we do abs, and we come back to do another 40 sets of our squat and lunge combo, you can do the same thing. You can do half on one leg, half on the other. That's up to you. I designed it this way because I want the burnout, even though it's tough. So again, you do it in whatever way works for you, as long as you're getting your reps done. I don't care how you do them. I mean, I care that you do them with the correct form, but other than that, it's up to you. All right, when you're ready, here we go, another 20 sets of that combo on the same leg. So remember which is your standing leg so that you make sure the next time after we do abs and we come back to this combo that you're switching legs. When you're ready, here we go. Picking up my count at 20. That's 30. I have to do 10 more. Try to keep this rest break a little shorter since I'm only recovering from a set of 10 as opposed to a set of 20. We only have 10 sets left to go, so when you're ready, here we go. Picking up my count at 30. That's 40. All right, so push-ups are halfway done. Squats and lunges are halfway done. So let's move on to abs. Any ab exercise you want to do is fine. I am doing a weighted sit-up with 2 cross-body punches. You can do this with or without weight. It's a great exercise to hold on to light weights with, but I'm holding on to a heavier set of weights, so this is going to move kind of slowly for me. If you're doing it with light weights or you're doing it without weights, you should get through these pretty quickly. But go at your own pace. When you're ready, here we go, holding my weights in front of my chest. Starting on my back on the mat, knees are bent, feet are flat on the mat. Sit up, punch, and punch. So you're twisting your body thoracically with each punch, and then return to your starting position. That's 2, we're going to 40. Do your best. That's 20 for me. I'm halfway there. So do another 20. That's 30. If you started with a heavier set of weights and it's getting too taxing, you can drop to a lighter set of weights, or you can drop the added weight altogether. When you're ready, here we go. Final 10 reps. That's 40. All right, so our S, our L, and our P are halfway done. Squats, lunges, and push-ups are halfway done, but abs are done. That's all 40 reps of abs. So next, I'm going to do the second half of my squats and lunges. So if you did 20 the first time through, then you'll switch legs and do another 20 reps. If you did 40 with me, then you'll switch legs and do another 40 sets of our little squat and lunge combo, or whatever squat and lunge combo you're doing. Remember, if the kicks are too difficult, eliminate them. It can be any squat variation you want combined with any lunge variation you want. You don't have to add the kick if you don't want to. These are super tough, and I started on my stronger leg. So now we're 16 minutes into the workout. Fatigue is setting in. It's getting hot out here, and I'm on my weaker leg. So I know these are gonna be super tough. So I'm just giving myself a good minute or so to regain some strength. Just shaking out the legs. Waiting for my heart rate to come down a little bit, and waiting for my breathing to normalize just a little bit. All right, so again, if you need a longer rest break, pause the video and come back when you're ready. Remember which foot you started on. So this time through, I'm going to pick up the opposite foot, make sure that the opposite foot is behind me, and let's go ahead and get started on our squat and lunge combo. So other leg, staggered stance squat and front kick right into your reverse lunge with a high kick. Okay, that's one. Get us to do that 39 more times. Do your best. That's 20. So if you're not doubling your reps, you're done with squats and lunges. All you have to do is finish up with your final 20 push-ups. If you are doubling the reps with me, if you switch sides, if you switch legs halfway through your first 40 reps, then you can switch sides now. I'm staying on the same leg. So I'm going to see if I can do another unbroken set of 10, picking up my count at 20. With any luck, I'll be able to do 2 more unbroken sets of 10. Try to keep my rest break in between as short as I can, but man, oh man, are my legs jelly. All right. When you're ready. I know it's tough. I'm doing it with you, so I know it's tough. Hang in there with me. We just have to do 10 more. So, squats are done, lunges are done, abs are done. All we have left to do is our final set of 20 push-ups. My legs are shaking. I will be happy if I can just get my first 10 reps done without stopping. That's my goal. Break them up however you need to. As long as you're getting the reps done, that's all that matters. Just do your best. If you need a longer rest break, pause the video. Come back when you're ready. That's 10. So let's do 10 more. That took me 25 minutes and 25 seconds. So I'm good with that. I felt like I was pushing myself really hard today, and this was actually a pretty tough little workout. So if you feel comfortable and you timed yourself and you want to share, feel free to share your score in the comments. We are not quite finished yet. No workout of mine is ever complete, and especially no workout during this challenge is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So we have just 1 rep left to go. The bonus burpee is actually really important. It's the thing that completes the workout. It is the exclamation point at the end of this workout. So it's a celebration that we got it done. It's a pat on the back that we found the motivation to get dressed and get out here and do the reps. We got our 160 reps complete. Let's go ahead and get our bonus burpee done now, and then the workout will be officially complete. All right, so as soon as you're ready, here we go. This is our final rep of the day. All right, with that, the workout is now officially complete. So let's just do a quick cool down together. You just want to keep moving while you allow your heart rate to come down a little bit and while you allow your breathing to normalize. So you can pace around back and forth, maybe shake out the legs a little bit. Let's do a quick shoulder stretch, bringing one arm across your body. Use your other arm to pull it in close to your chest. Make sure your straight arm is completely relaxed, and make sure that your shoulder is relaxed. If your shoulder is tense and hunched up here by your ear, you're not going to be able to stretch it effectively. So relax the arm, relax the shoulder, feel that nice stretch in your shoulder. Make sure you're continuing to move. I'm just kind of shifting my weight from foot to foot. That's fine. But again, you can shake out the legs, you can pace, but keep moving while we're doing these stretches, and keep focusing on slowing down your breathing. So you do that by really feeling your diaphragm being pulled down as you inhale. Think about breathing all the way down to your belly button. Allow your rib cage to expand, and imagine filling up your entire torso with air as you inhale. And then use your diaphragm to control the air as you exhale. Let's stretch the other shoulder. So bringing the opposite arm across your body and using your other arm to pull it in close to your chest. Really feel that nice stretch in your shoulder. So your straight arm is completely relaxed. Your shoulders are relaxed. You're continuing to focus on your breathing. So breathing all the way down to your belly button, and keep moving. Shake out the legs. Pace, shift your weight from foot to foot. Just want to keep moving while you allow your heart rate to come down a little bit. One more deep breath here. Control the exhale and come out. Let's do a tricep stretch. So you're bending one elbow, place your hand on your elbow and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Make sure the fingers on your free hand are pointing straight down at the ground. You want to avoid having your free hand hanging out up here somewhere by your shoulder. So point those fingers straight down at the ground, and as you gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, keep moving and keep focusing on your breathing. One more deep breath here. So inhaling all the way down to your belly button. Control the air as you exhale and come out. Let's get the other side. So bending your other arm, place your hand on the elbow and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, making sure that the fingers on your free hand are pointing straight down at the ground. Oh, feel that nice stretch in your triceps. I love this stretch. It feels so good. Keep moving. You can pace. I'm shaking my legs out. A lot of times I just shift my weight from foot to foot. Just keep moving and keep breathing. So one more deep breath. Remember to feel your diaphragm being pulled down as you inhale. Allow your rib cage to physically expand and really visualize filling up your entire torso with air. Use your diaphragm to control the exhale and come out. We are going to finish with a quad stretch. If you struggle with balance, you can hold on to something for support. You can put your hand on the wall or any kind of strong, sturdy, stable, elevated surface, like your kitchen counter, your dining room table, a chair, the arm of your couch. You're going to bend apparently I'm struggling with balance today. You're going to bend one knee, bring the foot behind you, reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with the hand that's on the same side if you're holding on to something for support. If you're not holding on to anything for support, you can reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands, and then you're going to press your heel into your booty cheek. Really press it in there. As you're doing that, I want you to tilt your pelvis forward. So kind of tuck your booty underneath you. Think about trying to touch your spine with your belly button. Keep pressing your heel into your booty cheek as you tilt your pelvis forward. As soon as you combine both of those two elements, you should feel that stretch intensify in your quad muscles as you isolate them more effectively. But I also want you to feel that stretch extend all the way up to your hip flexors. So coming out, shake out the legs. Let's get the other side. So bend your other knee, bring the foot behind you, reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with the hand that's on the same side if you're holding on to something for support. If you're not holding on to anything for support, you can reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands. Press your heel into your booty cheek. And as you're doing that, continue pressing your heel into your booty cheek. And as you're doing that, you're tilting your pelvis forward. So tuck your booty underneath you. Suck that belly button all the way back towards your spine. Feel that stretch intensify in your quads. I want to feel that stretch extend all the way up to your hip flexors. Let's take one more nice deep breath here. So again, breathing all the way down to your belly button as you inhale. Fill up your entire torso with air and control the air as you exhale. And come out. And one more time, just shake out the legs, shake out the wrists, shake out the arms, swing the arms a little bit, and that's it. That's our little cool down. So I'm going to go right into my cardio. I have Victoria here with me again today. Victoria is my beautiful silver jump rope with these cute little light pink metallic handles. So if you would like to know where I get my jump ropes, there is a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video. So click on the link and use coupon code RUDEBECCA to save an additional 10% on your jump rope. I'm going to set my interval timer for 10-second rest intervals and 20-second work intervals times 40 rounds. That's 20 minutes. I'm going to get some music going and I'm just going to knock out my cardio. 20 minutes of moderate paced cardio with my jump rope. That is what I'm doing right now. So I'm sharing this with you because this is how I do this challenge every year. After every single one of these workouts, I like to tack on an additional 20 to 30 minutes or more of moderate paced cardio. 9 times out of 10, that's 20 minutes of interval jump rope, but sometimes I might go for a jog. If I have more time, I'll do a nice long hike. So it doesn't matter what you do for your cardio. It can be any kind of moderate paced cardio, 20 to 30 minutes or more if you have time. So you could go for a jog or a hike, you could jump rope, obviously, but you could also hop on the exercise bike or the treadmill, or if you have a bike, you could go for a bike ride in real life, You could go for a swim. You could do something fun like a fitness class, or you could meet someone in the park to play tennis or basketball. If you have a heavy bag, you can work on your heavy bag, all right? So 20 or 30 minutes or more of moderate paced cardio is fine any way you want to get that done. It's not mandatory, it's not technically part of the challenge, but if you are using this challenge to get yourself in shape and you want to improve your stamina, if you're trying to lose weight, the additional cardio is going to go a long way towards helping you to accelerate that process. And it's going to mean that you'll start to see results faster, and that's really encouraging. So one of the really difficult things about this challenge is finding the motivation to stick with it. But the sooner you start seeing results, the more encouraged you feel. You see that what you're doing is working, and it makes the motivation a lot easier to come by. So it's not only going to make you much happier with your results on day 40, but it's also just going to make the challenge itself easier. It's going to make it easier to find the motivation. And of course, as you're improving your stamina, the workouts themselves are going to become easier. So it's going to become less difficult to physically do the workouts each day, and that's going to make it easier to find the motivation to get started as well, because it's not going to be as difficult for you to actually get the reps done. So you don't necessarily have to tack on the cardio after every single workout. I understand if you don't have time to do that, but I strongly recommend that you find at least 2 or 3 days a week, if you can, to do that additional 20 to 30 minutes or more of moderate paced cardio after the workout. So again, it is not required, it's not mandatory, it is not officially part of the challenge, but it's the way I do the challenge every year, and it is strongly recommended. I do think you'll be much happier with your results by the end of the challenge if you can find the time to do that. Like I said, at least 2 or 3 days a week if you can. Also, very, very, very strongly recommended is that you take the time to stretch every single day. The best time to do it is right now, immediately after the workout, or if you're going to add on cardio, immediately after your cardio. That's always going to be the most effective and the most efficient time to get your stretching done, because your muscles are nice and warm already. But if you don't have time right now to do your stretching, that's fine. It doesn't matter what time of day you do your stretching, just as long as you're getting it done. Taking a good 20 to 30 minutes each day to stretch is going to go a long way towards helping to alleviate any muscle soreness that you might be experiencing after the workouts. It's also going to help reduce your risk of injury moving forward, which is very important if you're doing this challenge, because a big part of the reason we're doing this challenge is to establish a habit of daily exercise. And you can only do that through consistency. So that's why we're working out 6 days every week, Monday through Saturday. We're doing 6 workouts in a row every single week, so that by day 40, you will have established that habit of daily exercise. But if you get injured, you're going to have to sit out at least a few days while your body recovers. So it's going to bring any momentum that you've been building to a screeching halt. And that's going to make it a lot more difficult to establish that habit of daily exercise. So in addition to just, it sucks being hurt. You know, it's not pleasant to be hurt, and I don't want anyone getting hurt. So it's going to go a long way towards helping to reduce your risk of injury. And I don't want anyone getting hurt, and I also don't want anyone dropping out of the challenge because of an injury. And I want you to be happy with your results at the end of the challenge. And part of that is not breaking that momentum, so that by day 40, you have established that habit of daily exercise. And after the challenge is over, you are continuing on with that habit. And in addition to reducing your risk of injury and alleviating muscle soreness, taking the time to stretch every day is also going to improve your flexibility. So we're doing these 160 reps every single day to improve our strength. And then we're adding on that cardio at least 2 or 3 days a week, hopefully, if you can, to improve our stamina. So why not add on another 20 or 30 minutes, if you can, of stretching every single day to improve our flexibility. Flexibility is a really important aspect of your overall fitness level that I feel is undervalued a lot of times, and it can be overlooked. So make sure you're taking the time to stretch every day. Just make sure you're doing so safely. So if you put off your stretching until later on in the day, just remember that your muscles will have gotten cold again, so you'll need to take a few minutes to warm them back up before you begin stretching. You never want to jump into your stretching routine with cold muscles, because your muscles need to be warm in order for them to be pliable so that you can stretch them safely and effectively. But that's it. That is officially a wrap on day 8. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did this day 8 workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who is doing the challenge with me. Again, if you have not joined the challenge yet, it is not too late to join. It's never too late to join. But even if you're not doing the challenge with me, thank you if you did this workout with me today. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me today. And even if you're not doing the workouts, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything was unclear with the format of today's workout and how everything fits together, if you have questions about any of the exercises that we were doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do the exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications beyond what I have already provided, I am always here to help, so please ask questions if you have them. And if you know anyone else who might be interested in joining the challenge, please feel free to share this video with them, share the playlist with them, and let me know if you are doing the challenge with me. I like to have an idea of how many people are doing the challenge with me each year. That is going to do it for today. I will see you all right back here tomorrow for day 9. Bye.